the problem is we weren't taught this in school. So all the things we were taught in school, we feel comfortable with. But imagine going through the first 20, 25, 30 years of your life, and you've never been told about this thing. When I bring it to you, you hear it on a podcast or a masterclass, you're like, you can't believe this is real. There's got to be scam, right? But I believe scam still confused about money, because you literally are confused. Your whole life you've been told you need to save up, you need a good job. Not once did I ever have a teacher who mentioned credit. Not once did I ever have a teacher who mentioned business funding. We talk about credit, 7 out of 10 people have less than 650 credit scores, right? We talk about funding, 83% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years, and the number one reason is due to not having enough capital. Yeah. We're talking about a black business, I think it's 73% get denied when going for funding. So when you look at the root of the problem, okay, most businesses fail due to lack of funding, then I see, oh, my people are getting denied for funding, then what's the gap? Being the person who can either get people the funding or get them the information so that they can fish for a lifetime. So that's kind of where we come into play.
You never thought about how ironic it is, like, you know, it's normal to go out and get a car loan, you know, or not only that, it's normal to go out and get a car loan, co-sign.
Facts.
Not only that, it's also normal to go out and get a car loan that's not even in your name.
Facts.
It's also normal to go out and get a mortgage for a house that's it's a one-family house. You're not making any extra income. It's normal to go out and get a store credit card while you're going to JCPenney or IKEA or Macy's and just fill out an application, get a credit card.
They'll allow you to go as an 18-year-old kid, go get a student loan for $40,000 a year. That's $160,000 over 4 years. Go $160,000 in debt. You come out to go to a job that doesn't pay you $160,000, doesn't even pay you half of that typically. It pays you between $40,000 and $60,000 a year, plus taxes is taking a third, and plus, you know, the American dream is painted as go have kids, go get a family, go get a single family house, when really kids are great, obviously, but it's a bill. A mortgage is great, but it's not really an asset when it's a single family.
Where do they get the bag?
To get that bag, we run what's called a funding sequence. So what that means is, you know, when you're looking to run a funding sequence, you need to know simply what credit bureaus are each lenders pulling from. And a lot of people is like, well, how do I find out? I can give y'all some. I'm going to give y'all some. But what you can do is just a hack. For anyone looking to find out what banks pull from which bureau, all you got to do is simply call and ask.
All right, so welcome back to another episode of Motion and Success. My name is Cody, and I have my co-host with me.
Yup, it's Ayo, and yo, we back with another episode, bro.
Facts. This is an episode where Motion and Success meets Darius Benders. Darius Benders is one of those guys. He's made over $1 million in the credit industry. He teaches people exactly how to go out and get funding for their small business. He's also helped over 50 plus people get six figures. I mean, not helped them get six figures. He helped 50 plus people make six figures in their business. So this is one of those episodes that you definitely want to tune into. He's going to be sharing all the game, all the gems, all the knowledge in the credit business and also on digital products too. So Darius, my guy, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, you did a hell of a job, bro. I gotta say, man.
I did a little research, before we started.
That's a good host. Yep. They say he showed up prepared for sure. Yeah. My name is Darius Benders, as Cody said. I'm originally from Boston, Mass. I've been in Atlanta, Georgia now for 2 years. We funded over $24 million in the last 18 months. We've helped a lot of people make a lot of money. And the reason I got into this is because this was the thing that changed my life. So essentially, when I teach, when I talk, or even with the services we do, I'm just talking to the old me, the me I needed years ago. And we've been around for 2.5 years in total. The education space has now been 2 years, and we just continuing to grow, man. Definitely.
That's impressive. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. One thing I would say is just seeing your growth, bro, is really, really impressive. Because I remember when I think when you was doing just about you're probably a few webinars in at that time.
Yeah.
And just to see the growth now, super tapped in, super well known. Your name is almost like a household name at this point. The work that you did in the past 2 years is definitely very impressive, bro.
I appreciate you, brother.
That's real good stuff for sure.
Appreciate you.
So I'm glad to actually have you on the podcast because we're going to learn some stuff for sure.
Oh, yeah. About to give them that sauce.
Yeah.
But I heard Cody say all the accolades, all the accomplishments, but we got to go to your backstory, just a brief backstory, because I know making it to where you are right now definitely wasn't easy.
Facts.
A lot of F-ups, a lot of past mistakes.
Facts.
I know all that stuff got you there. So could you give us a backstory? How'd you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
For sure. A whole lot of losses. You wasn't lying. I believe, we all have one thing I see amongst like successful people or people who are just in similar spaces is we all come from a place of a lot of losses. So I almost feel like it's like a prerequisite, weirdly. But my story was similar. I came home from college. I was a former Division I athlete, so coming from a sports background, all I knew was sports. And I think that first year, I actually learned after that a lot of athletes have a hard time transitioning into real life because your whole life you only knew sports, right? So the first year I tried different jobs. I was trying different side hustles. I realized jobs weren't for me. I had tried front desk at LA Fitness, insurance company, solar. And then my last job was working at the bank as a banker. And that didn't go well. I lasted 6 months. And the only reason I lasted that long, bro, is because it was my mother. Like, you know how you got a degree? And your mom's like, you need to go get that job. So I tried, but it wasn't for me. And I believe like you shouldn't force things. I don't believe we should force anything in the universe. So, bro, when I had quit that job, I had literally just walked out. I kind of got fired. It was like she said I could go on vacation. I booked the vacation, and she said, if you go, don't come back. So I just left. But that forced me into this entrepreneurship journey. Yeah. So I'm grateful for it. Because at that point, you're like, damn, I don't have no income. I'm a grown man with no money coming in. So I got into the nightlife industry because I had a friend who was out there. And I ended up getting into that, getting pretty good at it. I shadowed someone for about 9 months while making money. And then I kind of just became a full-time promoter. But entrepreneurship, I've been doing it now 9 years. And like I said, we've tried personal training. I started a Facebook ads agency. I tried digital marketing business before the first time. I tried so many different businesses. And, I always say, like, the information we don't know can literally kill us. So for me, it was literally not being able to get to where I wanted to be within those businesses fast enough, or I didn't have the money. So a lot of times we run into, I want to do this. I got this brilliant idea, right? And then it's like when you don't have the capital, it's like, damn, now I'm stuck, right? So I went to a conference over COVID. Nightlife has shut down in Boston, so it kind of forced me to do something different and try something different because when you don't have that money coming in, it's not coming in. So from there, I went to Circle of CEOs. That was in Atlanta, Georgia. And once I went there, I met some people who was in different spaces, car rental, Airbnb, credit, all type of stuff, trucking. And I just met some people, and shout out to my guy Mel. I always give him a shout out because that was the first person who introduced me to the credit space. And I'm grateful because I don't know if I'll be here today talking to y'all if I hadn't gotten introduced to it. And really just learning like this is what everybody needs because it was the thing that I needed. And I know I hear from cousins, family, friends, even aunts, whoever. Man, if I had some more money, I would put behind this business. Man, if I had more money, I would have put into marketing, right? But how do I grow when I don't have the money to start? Well, guess what? Business funding is the answer. So now we got to a place where, we've impacted and changed a lot of people's lives. And I'm just passionate about it.
Nah, that's what's up, bro. And you mentioned the Circle of CEOs. What's crazy is that we went to that conference.
That's how we met.
That's crazy.
That was that point, I think, after COVID, and that was a popping event, though.
Hey, shout out to Circle of CEOs.
That was fire.
You definitely
you
did
needed to be in
one,
those type
man.
of rooms.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's super important.
For sure.
And you mentioned funding. So on our page, a lot of the funding content goes crazy.
Yeah.
And I always wondered why, because I'm like, what is it about funding content that just goes so crazy? But it looks like a lot of people have trouble accessing capital.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, they got all these great ideas, but they don't got no money.
Exactly.
So a lot of times when we bring people, who do business funding, it just goes crazy. So why do you think that, a lot of people they have a lot of issues getting funding? Like, why is it such a problem that a lot of people need to get solved?
Because the information you don't know can literally kill you. So, there's different components when it comes to funding. And the problem is we weren't taught this in school. So all the things we were taught in school, we feel comfortable with. But imagine going through the first 20, 25, 30 years of your life and you've never been told about this thing. When I bring it to you or you hear it on a podcast or a masterclass, you're like, you can't believe this is real. There's got to be scam, right? But I believe scam still confused about money because you literally are confused. Your whole life you've been told you need to save up, you need to get a good job. Not once did I ever have a teacher who mentioned credit. Not once did I ever have a teacher who mentioned business funding. So it's foreign. I think anything that's unfamiliar can always make people skeptical, especially our people. because just naturally that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But it's a cheat code too. Like think about it. If I told you, hey, you can go get $100,000, no doc, you don't have to provide anything. All you need is a 700. If you weren't privy to this world, you probably be like, that sounds like a finesse, right? Because it's just something we weren't raised upon. But what I tell people is like, a lot of people talk about, hey, if you want people to like you, go sell ice cream. And I always say, shoot, you could do funding too, because really, like, who's gonna turn down the money, right? And when people come to me, they're excited because I give them hope. I give them an opportunity to change their life. Like most people can't save $100,000 even over 10 years, but I can show you how to go get $100,000 within 30 days if your profile set up the right way. If it's not set up the right way, 90 days even. What would that look like for most people, right?
Yeah.
So I say that's why funding content goes crazy, and it's one of those businesses where everyone says, "Oh, it's saturated." I don't believe in oversaturation, because I believe where there's a lot of people doing something, it's because there's a lot of money to be made. Yeah. We talk about credit. 7 out of 10 people have less than 650 credit scores, right? We talk about funding. 83% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years, and the number one reason is due to not having enough capital. Yeah. We're talking about a black business. I think it's 73% get denied when going for funding. So when you look at the root of the problem, okay, most businesses fail due to lack of funding. Then I see, my people are getting denied for funding. Then what's the gap? Being the person who can either get people the funding or get them the information so that they can fish for a lifetime. So that's kind of where we come into play.
That's a fact.
But you never thought about how ironic it is. Like, it's normal to go out and get a car loan, or not only that, it's normal to go out and get a car loan, co-sign.
Facts.
Not only that, it's also normal to go out and get a car loan that's not even in your name.
Facts.
It's also normal to go out and get a mortgage for a house that's it's a one-family house. You're not making any extra income. It's normal to go out and get a store credit card while you're going to JCPenney or IKEA or Macy's and just fill out an application, get a credit card. But it's never so normal when you're going to get a business loan or a business credit card. And people overcomplicate that whole situation. Like, for example, with home loans, it's very simple. You already know exactly what you need to do. You got to prepare yourself for the next 3-6 months.
Yeah.
You got to get your credit in order, get your finances straight, all of that stuff. So
right.
It's really ironic to see that, people don't really tap in as much as they should, and it's all out there,
Absolutely. Now, information, you're right. And it's crazy because you mentioned like auto loans and those, home loans, but think about it like this. I find it crazy. The real thing I find crazy is they'll allow you to go as an 18-year-old kid, go get a student loan for $40,000 a year. That's $160,000 over 4 years, go $160,000 in debt. You come out to go to a job that doesn't pay you $160, doesn't even pay you half of that typically. It pays you between $40,000 and $60,000 a year, plus taxes is taking a third, and plus the American dream is painted as go have kids, go get a family, go get a single family house, when really kids are great, obviously, but it's a bill. A mortgage is great, but it's not really an asset when it's a single family. Technically it is, but it's really a liability. If you don't pay those people, guess what? They're taking that house. So now you're in all this debt, and you went to school and you're wondering for what. Most people don't go into the field. They say like 75% of people do not go into the field in which they graduated in. So when you think about these things, I find that much crazier than you trying to go get a business credit card, a business loan. They send you through all these hula hoops. They send you through all these trouble, right? Yeah. So, I say the world is nothing like what most people think, and it's everything like what we think it's not. Right? It's like you think you're doing the right thing, like your parents, your grandparents, your cousins, and people will have you thinking you're cooked for going what I call the clarity route, the get rich route, right? Yeah. But the world will really have you thinking you're bugging out because you did what most people want, and it's just, I kind of call it the Matrix effect. So
that's a fact, and I caught when you said scams, still confused about money, and like you said with the college, loans, student loans, those are like one of the biggest scams. Like you said, people $200,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, but yet when they try to go get business funding and whatnot, it's like it's a runaround, and it takes like some type of thinking for yourself to realize like, why not? I just take $100,000 and invest in myself, my business idea. Yes. You know what I mean? So why do you think, because I feel like one of the reasons why is like people feel more confident in taking out student loan than business loans because kind of like the programming.
Of course. Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times when people hear loan and debt, they think about being irresponsible.
Yeah.
So how do you, for you, helping people get funding, how do you know who's irresponsible versus who, got a
Irresponsible.
plan instead of them,
So that's why I got into the education part. My job now, it used to be just to get people funding. And then I thought, how can I impact people at a higher level? Now, evolving, okay, I need to not just get these people the funding, but I need to give them the tools, the mindset, skill set, and tool set to go out and become the type of person who can turn this debt into good thing, right? Because debt, when used properly, is the best way to build wealth. You're talking about Walt Disney, built off debt. Walmart built off debt. All of these big companies, even Elon Musk, he acquired Twitter. He leveraged debt, right? So most people think of debt as a bad thing, but debt is the way you're going to get out of your situation. Yeah. Everyone being in a rush to go be debt free. Debt free just means you got back to zero. That's not like a big accomplishment, but like you said, the programming is what tells us you needed to go to school. Like, think about it like this, right? You go to college, all right, people take business classes. You're learning business from a professor who probably made between, $50,000 and $70,000 a year. What business can they truly teach you outside of the content? And I'm not even trying to be funny.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to roast. What the hell business can someone who doesn't have a business, probably never had a business, teach me? Because if they had a business running, they wouldn't be working at the university for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And again, there's no disrespect. It's just the facts. Yeah. So sometimes, I do blame, we're in the program and the matrix, but come on. You a grown person. You got to start thinking for yourself, right? Or you need to be in environments with coaches, consultants, people who can guide you and lead you. But what I do is I tell people, get the money. That's step one. Step two is find someone who has the blueprint to what you're trying to do. Because, we don't know what we don't know, right? We are already, all of us are doing the very best with who we are and what we know. So the only way you're going to further yourself, enhance your situation, is to be around somebody who's already went down the path. They've already taken the L's. They've already won at a small level, a medium level, or a big level. But they're going to get you there faster than you can. And when you don't have that guidance, a lot of times we start listening to what I call unqualified people. We go to our cousins, our moms, our sisters. Yeah. What you think about this idea? I got this idea. And what happens is they'll deter you. So they'll talk you out your dreams. Or the second thing will happen is they'll give you wrong direction. And you're going to go blame them. But the truth is you got no one else but to blame but yourself. Because when you think about it, if I'm going to cheat off a test, why the hell would I cheat off the person who gets D's? Right? So that's what we're doing when we asking unqualified people. So I would suggest people, man, go get money, go get direction from a person who's done it, and then go execute.
So I was thinking, too, because I was like, for this podcast, we want to make it like a little bit beginner friendly. So being like, let's say I got a new business, I got a business idea. Like, let's say you want to open a laundromat or something. Got no cash. Well, I got money saved up, but I don't really feel like digging in my own pockets.
Okay.
How could I get funding? What's the first thing that I got to set up? Like, give me a list of steps. Like,
absolutely.
I know you got to get the LLC.
Yeah.
From there, where do I go?
Okay, so this person, they got, do they have good personal credit or they just got no credit yet?
650.
650, okay. 650, and do they have any lates and negatives or they don't have a lot of credit built?
Nah, no lates.
Okay, all right, so if you had a 650, and you don't have any lates or negatives, you probably need to build your profile strong. So what I'll suggest is this. If you can go out and you can add what's called credit builder accounts, right? And what these are accounts that are going to help you to boost your credit with all three bureaus, typically, most of them. And what they do is they'll show as consistent on-time payments. So one of the biggest reasons people get denied for funding is because they don't have enough strength and enough age. So I like to compare it to, like, if you came to me, you asked me for money, right? And I said, okay, give me some references. Who have you borrowed money from and paid them back? If you don't have none, do you think I'm gonna give you some money?
Nah,
probably not. Right? So that's how the lenders look at us as people, right? So I always say, see yourself in the lenders. Would you give you money, right? So you can go add accounts like Credit Strong. You can go add Kickoff. You can go add Self. You can add a rent report and rental karma, which will help you report your rent every month. Most people are paying rent, and the beautiful thing about those last two accounts is they're also going to allow you to backdate. So now we can increase that age if you're newer to credit. So now that we have some of these accounts, right? Ideally, what you want to be at is about 10 primary accounts. Primary just means anything that's in your name. We talked about auto loans, student loans, mortgages, home loans. Any of these things that are important are your primary accounts. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure your credit age is in order. I would say before going for business funding, we want at least 4.5 years of age, right? That's just going to show that you've borrowed money for a long period of time, right? Which means you're deemed more lend worthy. All right, next thing is utilization. Utilization is about 30% of your whole report. So you need to make sure that if you have credit cards, you're paying them people back on the personal side, specifically even more so early, paying them down all the way, because this is going to determine how fundable you are when it comes to the business side, right? And what you can do if you have utilization issues, you can go check out some personal loan type plays like SoFi, Avant, Upgrade, Upstart, and they have like debt consolidation loans that we can use to pay down our credit card utilization. Because remember, because I know someone's going to say, well, that's still debt, but it's a different type of debt, right? When we talk about credit card debt utilization, that's specifically what the business lenders are looking for. So making sure if you have loan debt, that's fine, but you want to make sure that your credit cards stay down, right? Under 10% typically. And then we want to make sure we're on-time payments. You said that they're good. And then inquiries. I say make sure you got less than 4 in the last 6 months, preferably. Just gonna make you seem like you're not as thirsty for credit. If you came to me and I found out you've been asking Cody, Zach, Bob, Joe, Angelique all for money in the last couple of weeks, I'm probably gonna say you seem a little thirsty for credit. So that's how you can structure your profile to put you in position. And then what I tell you to do is start with some credit unions. All right, you can mix it up with like a tier 1 bank, which is just like a Discover or a Citibank, but typically we're going to go with these credit unions. Now, the way you can guarantee you get these high limits with these credit unions is you can set up a shared secured savings loan with them, otherwise known as a pledge loan at like Navy Fed. And the reason you want to do that is because not only does it strengthen your relationship with that lender, but it helps your overall credit report. But most importantly, as we're strengthening that relationship, now when we go for funding on that personal credit card, we're getting those $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 credit cards, right? So now your personal credit's in order. All right. Next thing you want to do is setting up your business the right way, right? I always say, if I pulled up on you and I said, my name's Darius, I'm a business coach, and I help you make a lot of money, but I got stains on my T-shirt, holes in my jeans, hubcaps falling off, you gonna shop with me?
Hell no.
Probably not, right? Because I don't look the part. So the same way is how our business needs to look to the lenders, right? So you want big money, you need to operate as a big business. So you want to make sure you get you an entity, right? You can go to File, I think it's called Busy now, and get your LLC. You want to make sure you have a business address, a business email, business phone number. Email you can get right from GoDaddy. A business phone number you can get from Opus.com. I'm sorry, a business phone number you can get from Call8.com. A business address you can get from Opus.com. And the reason you want to have all these is because it's not that you'll get denied if you don't have one of them, but what will happen is these will drop your limits. So it could be $30,000, $40,000 limits now drops incrementally, 25, 5K every time you don't have these things in compliance, right? So making sure that your business is set up the right way, and make sure when you're naming your business that it's not named in what's deemed a high risk industry. So no credit repair, don't put that. Don't put anything about funding. Don't put anything about real estate. Don't put anything about cannabis. Put anything about car rentals or any of that. Are typically solutions, worldwide, enterprise, consulting. These are good names to have in your business that'll get you funded high amounts. All right, so typically we do that, and then that's typically the next step.
Yeah.
You want me to go into the funding or
I got 2 questions before you go in. So now I know people gonna be on the other side like, so what if I am in cannabis? What if I am in real estate?
Great question.
Do it still, disqualify me from getting funding, period?
Great question.
And then the second question, just so I don't forget, is people. Oh, matter of fact, that's the first one. We go into that in the funding part.
Okay, that's a great question. So if you're in a real estate, a cannabis, or a trucking, right? What you want to do is still set your business up with the names I just talked about, Enterprise Solutions Worldwide, because those are general names, right? Now, when they ask what's the nature of your business, what I tell people to typically do is say that you consult with those type businesses. So you don't do trucking. Hey, I consult, I help business owners set up their business properly. Same goes for cannabis, same goes for repair, right? General, all right? So what I do is I consult with these businesses and help them start and grow their businesses. That's it. All right.
So you got to add that consultant part.
That's it. You're a consultant, because a consultant is an educator. Education gets the most funding across the board. Yeah.
So could you? So besides like cannabis, would you say like real estate would be also one of those industries?
Yeah, real estate, cannabis, trucking, credit repair, funding, sports betting, car rentals, anything rentals they consider high risk industry. Yeah.
So you got your score up to 700
Mhm.
using the methods that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You got your name down packed, nothing high risk.
Mhm.
Now, where do they get the bag?
You get that bag. So, a couple of things you could do. You could start with the relationships you have. So, if you have some personal credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
who better to continue to build that relationship within the places you already have them? So, let's say you're at a Bank of America on the personal. You've been with them. You have a good rapport. Then what we can do is those can be our first banks that we go get some funding with because we already have the relationship, right? If you don't have any relationships, what I would do is I would open up some business bank accounts, just a couple, maybe your first two. I recommend having one or two at least. All right, and then what we do is we run what's called a funding sequence. So what that means is, when you're looking to run a funding sequence, you need to know simply what lenders, what credit bureaus are each lenders pulling from. And a lot of people say, well, how do I find out? I can give y'all some. I'm going to give y'all some. But what you can do is just a hack. For anyone looking to find out what banks pull from which bureau, all you got to do is simply call and ask. People overcomplicate it. You can go to credit boards and all these sites. But really, if you just call the lender and ask, they will literally tell you. And then sometimes it's geo-based, meaning depending on where you live. If you want to know where good banks are, you can check out ibanknet.com. And what that'll allow you to do is see which lenders are in your area, whether it's national banks, big banks like Chase, U.S. Bank, or if it's community banks, right? Your credit unions, your Elon Financials. All right, a gem everyone can do is you can Google Elon Financial Banks in your area, and those will come up. The reason I like those is because they give you $20,000 to $25,000 limits, typically right out the gate, even as a brand new business, as most of these lenders do. But they give out high limits at 0% interest. All right, and then what we want to do, y'all, is we want to look at our profile and identify, like, okay, which bureau is strong, which bureau can I go get some funding from? Let's say, for example, your Equifax was maybe a little messed up. Maybe you didn't meet all the data points, but maybe your Experian was really good. You can go check out some banks that pull from Experian on the business side. You go check out a Chase bank. Chase is gonna give you out the bag anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000 in 0% interest funding, even as a brand new business with no revenue coming in. Right. Another bank you can check out is American Express. You can get multiple business credit cards with that lender. Yeah, and Amex is one of my favorite plays. Yeah, you could go to the 2 blue cards plus their charge cards. I would tell new business owners, though, because I know this is your platform, I like to let people know to be cautious, right? So if you're getting these charge cards and you're a new business owner, just understand that you do have to pay your balances back in full with the charge cards within 30 days. Or with the Plum card with 60 days. If not, the interest does go up a lot, right? So I want to make sure they know that.
Yep.
So leverage the blue cards because those are 0%, which are going to help you now be able to have time and create cash flow before being in bad debt, right? Or having to pay extra fees. We don't want you drowning and stuff. And then you could go to Navy Fed. They're also going to pull from Experian on the business side. And between those 3 banks I just gave you, you're looking at, I said 5 from American Express potentially, 1 from Chase. If you got a relationship manager, you can get the 2 from Chase, and then you could go to Navy. So now we're talking about 8 business credit cards, even if you only average $10,000 on them. You're talking about $80,000. That's just from one bureau. So then you could do the same with the TransUnion, the same with the Equifax, and you can literally, after you go get these business credit cards, you can remove the inquiry. Well, Darius, I didn't know you could remove inquiries. Anything that's on the business side, right, we can remove the inquiries because the account should never report to the personal credit. That's why it's called business funding. So although you will leverage your personal guarantor, the account won't report. So because the account won't record, we can simply call and have the inquiries removed. That's a 24 inquiry removal way. Or there's other ways you could do. You could do a Metro 2 software. You could do an FTC report and things like that.
So one thing we talk about getting the money part, but I think probably one of the most important parts is the risk mitigation part, like the business plan. Where does that come in? Like, what's some of the things that you like? What's a few steps that you always recommend before I actually start filling out these applications? Because one thing I do realize is business funding came is like a big popular thing now. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to get business funding, but we don't know what we're doing with the funding. Like, what's some of the things that you would tell a person, like, prerequisite before getting funding?
So I would tell a person before funding, have somewhat of a plan. The reason I say somewhat is because a lot of times we don't fully have the plan. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's on God's plan. But what I would tell you to do is think about, like, what is something that you would want to do I always say try to pick something that you feel like you're passionate about. I know some people say you shouldn't go with your passion. I believe in the world we live in, the beautiful thing is you can go with your passion because everything allows you the ability to make a lot of money fast. So what is your passion? Maybe you want to help people in credit. Maybe it's with e-com. So two things I always tell you, a framework is you can give your gift away in this world by either monetizing your gifts. Your gifts are what God gave you, right? What comes easy to you and is harder to others. Or your skill set. Your skill set is based on your life experiences. So maybe you work corporate. I got a friend who worked corporate for 10 years or 8 years, and he literally took what he did in corporate, and now he does that for business owners, and he makes his own money. So he go from making $30 an hour to now being able to charge different clients $5K a pop, $10K a pop. So you can give your gift away. I mean, we can teach you how to package that up, whatever it is, and be able to monetize that, right? Let's say you dress well on a budget. People always ask you how you get so fly. Guess what? We could package that up. Let's say you're fit. People always tell you, how you get so in shape. Guess what? You could package that up. That's the world we live in, right? And then taking your experience. So that's one way. All right, that's one thing. I don't believe in having like full business plans before starting a business. Most of the people I know who make a lot of money, we really didn't come with business plans. It was usually just we're all in. The business plan is when you get the mentor for whatever you're looking to do, because that's what's gonna help you properly execute on the thing. You can go write a 15-page business plan, but now you ain't got no way to execute except what you think that you know. So most important part, pick based on your passion, your purpose, and the things that you want to do. Stick to that thing, right? And you might pivot. Entrepreneurship is about pivoting. It's a lot of pivoting. I pivoted 8 times. I failed 7 times before figuring it out. So I'm not telling you it's going to go smooth sailing the first time, but one thing I do know is when you get a good coach, a good mentor, you always learn. It's never really a loss. You might learn what you don't like, but you might gain wisdom in terms of how to be a better entrepreneur, or you might get the exact blueprint for the exact thing that you were looking for. But it's always a learning lesson.
And what's crazy is that I don't know the exact number, but they did say that most businesses, most startup businesses, they basically like go out of business in like the first less than a year.
Yeah.
You know, so have you ever heard a crazy idea somebody had and they were seeking funding and you was like hell no, it's not working?
I hear people say a lot of crazy stuff. People be I think the new thing is people trying to start those
smoke shops.
Yeah, well, those are actually popping, I think, right now, right? Like
out in New York it is.
Yeah, they're popping right now. I had someone recently, they wanted to do one of them in-house massage businesses.
A mobile massage.
Yeah. Those are lit, but it was a dude that was trying to do it. He said, "Yeah, he was trying to get like strippers from the clubs and give them massages because they on their feet all day." I don't know. I said you trying to be a freak bull. But yeah, we get I've heard a lot of different ideas. What I don't do is this. I don't tell anyone what to or what not to do in terms of their dreams and their vision, but I always tell them what I told y'all. If you're going to do this idea, just make sure you go find someone who's already done it. That's the most important part, because there's ideas that we might think crazy as hell, but someone out there might be eating with it, getting busy. So if so, just find a person. Don't go do that shit on your own, and now you're like, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Right?
Yeah.
Any industries that you've seen that has like a high failure rate and you just like,
any industries that I've seen that have had a high failure rate? Nah, I can't say any in particular fails. Nah, not that I know of.
Or like, what's the top funding? Like, what's the businesses that you usually get funded? Like, that comes to you a lot.
So a third of my program is like real estate investors.
Okay.
Right, and then a third of my program is people who want to be funders. They want to do funding like what we do.
Okay.
And then a third of my program is people who, I like to say, what's it called? Like, etc. Basically everything else. So the people got different things going on. Oh, I'm looking to fund this, or I'm looking to start this. And then probably about 25%, probably like 20% of our program, course creators, content creators looking to get some money so they can put into things like marketing, put into things like, leveraging OPA, building their business out, hiring staff and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. Even like this far in the podcast, like you done gave so much game, told people how to fix their credit, taught them how to get the bag.
Yeah, facts.
So like, with all your success right now, like, What is that like? What's one point in your life where you was kind of like, discouraged, like you wasn't motivated, that things weren't going your way, and how'd you get yourself out of that?
And that's a good question. I think for me it was when I had it was a few times, bro. There's a lot of times. So I think when my like fourth business had just fit, I felt like, and that's why like mindset is everything, because like it's easy to keep going when things are working for you, right? But the hardest part, bro, is like when shit's not working for you, like when you're taking L's on L's on L's on L's, and like what do you do then, right? So for me it was like, even when I moved out my mom's crib and then I had to move back in, I'm like, damn. And then when I tried like Facebook ads agency, and I'm sitting at the damn table for hours. I bought this course for like $9.97. I thought this about to be thing that get me out the hood. That wasn't working. I tried drop shipping, wasting money on ads, that wasn't working. So it was like, yo, and the toughest time I never remember was during pandemic, when, bro, you know how everyone was getting like checks from the government?
Yeah.
Mine stopped, like it just froze. So they were like, yeah, you got to send in all this stuff, but they were super backed up. And I didn't do like none of that PPP stuff, so I wasn't getting none of that. And then nightlife was shut down, so I was literally to a point, bro, where I looked up and I'm like, yo, God, I'm confused. Like, why me? Like, I work hard.
What age was that?
This was during the COVID. This was just 2.5, probably like three.
Wow.
3 years ago. Yeah, this is when it first started.
She was probably like 28, 29, around there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn. And I really had hit rock bottom, and I knew it because I had to ask my mother, because she helped me with a cell phone bill. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, damn, no grown man want to ask their mom to help them pay a cell phone bill. So that was probably like the time I'm like, I don't know what I got to do, but I got to get out of this. Like, I never want this feeling again. This is disgusting. So yeah, that was it for me, man. What turned it around was going to that conference, getting in the room, getting inspired. And for me, I'm always the type of person, I never really had a mindset issue since I've been about 14, because I just always was like a worker. Like, so it was more about like, what's the information gap? Because what I know now as a coach is so crazy. As you evolve, like, you start to see the way I coached at first and how I coach now is totally different. At first, I was just, this is the play. You need to run this play. Because I was talking to the old me. One of my coaches told me one day, because I seen how he coached, and he's more like motivational. He's more like inspirational. So for me, I was like, why do you do, like, I was just thinking, like, why do you do so much of that? And I seen how people were receptive to it. And then what I realized was, oh shit, like, I need to give these people that because that's what they need. Most people think they have a skill set issue. They actually got a mindset issue. They need to learn how to think and grow rich. They need to learn how to put in that work. They need to learn how to be consistent. They need to learn how to be consistent. So now my coaching style is different. We're going to give all the gems in the world, but I really have to coach people on mindset, because like you said, a lot of people are in that place where I was at, and they don't know how to get out of that hole. And if you don't get out of that hole, your ass going to be broke forever. So at the end of the day, I feel like if I don't serve them, then I can't save them, and I can't help them get to their dream lives. So yeah, that's kind of how I got out of that situation.
Nah, that's crazy. That's a lot of patience from you too. Like, cause I could imagine, like, being like in my late 20s, in mom's crib, having her to help me pay a cell phone bill, like all of that shit would kind of make me go somewhere else mentally.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And you was able to kind of like overcome that, and see a bigger vision for yourself. So that right there is crazy, because even during the pandemic, a lot of people, you turn on your social media, everybody's up, forums out. You just inside, like, you just watching from the back, like,
sick.
damn,
sick.
You know what I mean? Yeah, sick. Yeah. So you was over there busy building behind the scenes. So you got a challenge coming up.
Yep.
So you see how you came on here and you just gave game. I know you got plenty more of that.
Oh yeah,
so what are they gonna get in the challenge?
I'm gonna go crazy. We're gonna show them how to increase their credit scores. Show you how to exactly my 750 blueprint. More importantly, how to build that profile. That's gonna be one day. We're gonna show you how to get funding. I'm gonna break this thing down in depth. Give you banks, where to go, who pulls from what. I'm gonna erase the guessing, right? I'm gonna eliminate you having to think too much. I'm also gonna get them funded live. So live funding. Last time we did something like this, we funded over $500,000 live. So that's the goal. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you all what to do with the funding, right? So you don't have to make the mistake of, oh, I got funded, but now what? No, I'm gonna eliminate that because a lot of people in the funding space, we show them how to get money, but you don't give them direction. So I'm gonna show you all how to run a funding company where you can make an extra $10,000 to $30,000 a month. All right, and then I'm also gonna show you all how to be able to scale and grow through selling one to many, whether it's webinars, digital products, or whatever it may be.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
So what was your number one strategy going from zero to you know your first M? Like, what was that number one strategy for you that separated, you know, from all the different failures that you done had, you know, till now?
Number one strategy. I've had a lot. We've ran a lot of plays, but what I can tell you is doing webinars consistently. I feel like that's what's helped us grown because, and I think me and you even talked before the episode, and it's like webinars, they force you to become a dog because
They do.
there's a lot of pieces to it. You got to market, you got to get people to show up, then you got to sell. But what that does, a lot of times it's the work working on us, meaning like, you know, we're not making the money, the people's not showing up. Fuck, we're not closing how we want to close, but that's the stuff that's making us better in real time because every week or every time you do one, you get better at it. So I feel like, you know, if I'll tell somebody the fastest way to hit your first $1 million is through virtual events because again, it's gonna force you to be better. And now your product's better. Now you sell more, but not only when you sell more, now you coach better because your ability to communicate your message is the part. And I feel like as entrepreneurs, a lot of people worked on just the product or the service, but most people forget that you have two businesses. You have the product and the service, that's one business. Then you have sales and marketing. Most people focus on just that, right? And I always say, like, what's in the water bottle. But how about what's on the outside of the water bottle? That's how you're attracting people. That's how you're getting people to buy in.
Yeah.
Business needs customers, right? So for us, it's been virtual events. We've done webinars. We've done challenges. We've done 2-day summits. So it's easier because you get to spend more time with people. All right, VSLs, which is just like a short video sales letter, those are good. DM ads, those do good, but it's nothing like them getting to know you because people buy from people first, and products and services second. So the more when they buy, because we all do credit or people do the same things, but they're buying because of who you are and how receptive they were to you, your personality, and all that good stuff. So virtual events.
And throughout your whole entrepreneur journey, like, what would you say at the time when you was like, damn, I'm finally, like, you know, making some money?
It was I remember it was when I moved to Georgia. That was my first like place. I was like first time moving out of state, obviously. Place felt good. You know, had some money in the bank account. It was good, and then it felt good, bro. I felt stable, and it was so dope because coming from a place where like you gotta think you trying stuff for 9 years straight. And that shit not working, bro. So when it finally worked, you like, yeah, I'm him. I'm a ride. Because like most people don't get it, bro. Like during that journey, it's so hard. It's hard because you're fighting your own mind. Then you fighting the people around you's mind. People telling you, yo, you should just go get a job. People telling you, yo, you still doing that little business. People telling you still doing that stuff. Oh, well, so-and-so's hiring. Or come work for me. Or like, when you gonna move out your mom's crib? People start calling you Jody from Baby Boy. Right? You know what I'm saying? It be your own family. Like, it's real. And the thing is, that's the part, right? When God say like operate in faith, he say walk by faith and not by sight. That's what he mean. Like, you know, people always talk about people don't support me. It's not their job to support you. It's your job to give them something to support, right? It's not their vision. It's your vision. They're not gonna see it how you see it. So it's a surreal feeling, and people be like, oh, why people with money? You know, they think they ill. It's because the truth is you are ill. If you become the type of person that got yourself out of a hole and found a way to become financially stable, you do deserve your pop, your shit because you've been through so much. And as entrepreneurs, I know y'all relate, but regular people, I don't say regular people, but people who aren't in this world, sometimes they don't understand. And it is what it is. So yeah, it feels good, man. Definitely about 2 years now we've been good and just trying to continue to grow though. Also always remain humble. So like, you know, pop your shit, like but don't get too crazy. Like, still be respectful. One thing I was always raised up on is respect. So, like, some of my people, my friends, they're like, man, you seem so humble. Like, I could talk to you. I'm like, what do you mean you could talk to me? Like, most people online you can't talk to. But nah, I'm not like that. I don't think I'll ever get to that point. Obviously, sometimes you be busy and you can't have conversations in your DMs and stuff all the time. But I try to just remain as, like, human as possible. Because I remember, you know, when I was coming up, just being able to talk to someone was just dope.
Yeah. Now you travel all over the world.
Yeah.
Dubai, Paris, you know.
Outside.
Yeah.
How has you know, living in Atlanta, because Atlanta is a place that I see, like, you know, everybody's kind of a little bit together.
Yeah.
So how has living out there been? Like, I know a lot of other people do business funding.
Yeah.
You know, out there. But y'all not sitting there, like, you know, competing, you know, getting mad at each other for clients.
Nah, we locked in, bro. It's crazy. Me, Smitty, and Dion, we be on FaceTime for like once a week. Just locked in, bro. What's working, what's not, you know, what plays is out. Bro, it's crazy because, you know, at the top's a lot of collaboration. I feel like at the bottom's where a lot of competition is. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with competing because we compete. Right, but competition doesn't mean bad. Competition, like, if y'all are friends, y'all should be competing to put out better content, to set up the production, because it's gonna make you better. Right, the reason there's a Steph Curry is because there was Reggie Miller. If there was no Reggie Miller, there would be no Steph Curry. Right, the reason there's LeBron is because there's one Michael. LeBron had to have an aiming point to beat Michael's records. So competition is healthy. Obviously, stay away from that hate and stuff. That's clips. But, you know, collaboration is at the top, right? But people have to understand that in order for people to want to collaborate with you, you have to become the type of person that people are going to want to work with. No one wants to do, you know, charity events. I don't just want to say, here, just come work with me. You don't have nothing to offer. So find a way to become more valuable, right? Whether you got an audience, leverage that. Whether you're really good at something, maybe, you know, you're good at something that a person's not good at. Now you bring value. But yeah, Atlanta's dope, bro. Atlanta's a place where, you know, it's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs and people really don't mind giving out that game, right? Not everybody, of course, but you know, for the most part, I meet hella cool people. There's also some faking, right? Some people do be capping.
Everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's everywhere. Like you said, it's everywhere. Sometimes things might look better than they seem for certain people. I found out, but overall, bro, Atlanta's dope. Definitely.
Because honestly, like, in New York, it's a little bit different out here.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of competing, a lot of gatekeeping. So me, anytime I usually go to Atlanta, it's just a different scenery. It's just, I feel like, you know, people out there, like, even when me and Cody was out getting content, I think probably InvestFest or not, you see people, like, they rooting for you to get content. Like, they easily open. You could easily communicate with them and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's looking at you.
Right.
Oh, yo, he getting content. Look at him trying to get content. You know, that's New York stuff. New York.
That's some Boston stuff too.
New York does that. They do that, and then it's until, you know, they see it work for you, and then they like,
how you did it.
Like, how you do it. So the fact to even come, like, you know, really far and being an entrepreneur in New York really means that you kind of blocked out that noise.
Fendi. It means you a dog, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You definitely blocked out
that
noise.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
But let me go in on that, because I think that might be a common myth. I don't want people to think if you are an entrepreneur and you in Atlanta and you ain't got no motion, it's going to be the same way, bro. What it is collaboration at the top, so as you elevate, right? So I don't want confusing people. They think, oh, I can just go to Atlanta right now. No. You got
people
motion.
Losing and
because
winning out there.
What happens is when you see another person with motion, like, I know that person can't be stopped. It don't matter if I gatekeep, they're going to get it regardless. And they know the same about me. So because of that, rather than holding back resources, let's just share them, right? Like, I can't do nothing to slow down my guy Dion. He can't do nothing to slow down me. Or I can't do nothing to slow down Smith. He can't do nothing to slow down me. So it's like, let's just come together and make more money, right? Because there's something called monopolizing a market, and that's why partnerships are dope. You monopolize on my market by bringing 2 or 3 lit people together. That's how the Circle of CEOs went crazy.
Yeah.
They monopolized. Neil was going dummy. Him was going dummy. what's the short diesel dude, Mr.
2 weeks out.
2 week out. He was going dummy. Justin going dummy. They're like, yo, we can get this money separately, but why not come together and just really make more impact, right?
Yep.
So strength is in the numbers. I know they say if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go farther, go together. So yeah, I just want to make sure people understood that you're gonna have to have some motion, and it's good because it forces you to become better, like you said, and then they're gonna say, damn, you did it. But that's just part of the process, bro. Part of the process.
Now that makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense, and that's why I see why you mentioned, becoming, first.
That's it.
And then kind of going out and networking with people at the top.
Facts.
So, what would you say? Was like your biggest month, like being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so our biggest month is I did a challenge. We did $148,000 one month. That's our best month to date.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Trying to get that to be consistent now. Trying to get to that consistent 150.
Wow.
Yeah.
What went into actually, like what's some of the pieces the moving parts that went into actually getting that outcome?
For sure. Laser focus, moving intentional, those are the basics, right? But really in terms of strategy, what it is what we do is we run free classes, and on these free classes we sell tickets to a 5-day 5-day virtual event. And the reason 5 days is different than just a day is because you get to spend more time. You get to create a better environment, because one day is cool. An hour, I can shift your beliefs and get you to believe in yourself. That's the key. But over 5 days, I can paint a whole picture for you of what it would look like when you become the person. I can teach you how to think rich. I can teach you how to change your mindset. I can give you tangible, actionable things. I can spend more time with you, and then I can give you the skill sets, teach you like I said, the funding, get you funded live, showing you the blueprint for how to increase your credit score. The goal of a virtual event when it's multi-day is to take people from possible to probable. They already believe it's possible, they see it, but now getting them to get micro wins, right? So by the end of the week, when you make an offer, they have no questions that it helps them. If you're not good at what you do, you're going to get exposed though, right? When I spend 5 days with a person, they're going to know I'm the best at what I do because it's undeniable. I just helped you in these 5 days change your life. Now when I make the offer, right, whether it's 5K, 10K, 20K, 50K, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. There are certain people who are more serious and who are ready to get to their dream life. So because of that, and because they spent 5 days with you, they're going to take the opportunity. Not because I want them to take the opportunity, but because it's in their best interest, right? Most people, if they don't work with us, the truth is, right, based on statistics, not what I think, they're going to go back to who they were. And who they were wasn't getting it done, or they'd already be where they want to be, right? So that's pretty much the framework of that. And then, let's say you get 10 people to take a $10,000 offer. That's $100,000, right? Let's say you got 100 people in the room. You only converted 10%. It's 10 people, $10,000 offer, $100,000 a day. Yeah. So most people think like money has to be made slow, and the best thing I learned online is like it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money over a long period of time. And most people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But it's like the reason they think like that is because of the information that they do not know, right? Like understanding leverage. Leverage is selling one to many. There's a transfer of energy shift in a room. Like us three being here is much more, it's better energy than just if there were one person just talking to the mic, right? Because you can feel the energy. He says, you co-signed him. Now we're all in cohesion, right? Now we're all feeling the same effects. So now when it's time to make a decision, right, in a one-to-many room, what happens is people don't want to feel left out. People don't want to feel like, damn, I'm not taking advantage of the opportunity, but I see the person next to me taking advantage. Damn, they're going to be living their dream life in 6 months, and I'm going to be stuck if I don't make this decision, right? Like Apple sells out their iPhones every year at an event. Most people don't know that. They sell out before they even go live, right, through an event. So events are the fastest way to make a lot of money in a little bit of time.
That's absolutely true, because there's times where I've been to like, a few events, and then they'll call you to the front. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. And then you see the person that you standing next to, you looking straight forward to the stage. Yeah. And be like, come forward. And next person, one person they leave you, they like, shh. And then you in your head like, you know what?
Yeah.
That I do need to make this decision. Because if I stay here in the next 6 months,
Facts.
yeah, fuck yeah, it's 20,000, 15,000.
Yes, it.
But listen, at the end of the day, like, it's well worth it.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, like, once everything is all said and done, you know, it's either you're gonna be 6 months of progress or 6 months of stagnation. You know what I mean? So
that's a bar.
It's really up to you at that point, and nobody else can make the decision but yourself. You know what I mean? And you're gonna realize. But most times we already know what we got to do and what we want to do.
Yeah.
But it helps when it's other people help, you know, around making that decision. But then again, you still gotta have your own mindset to say, all right, cool. This is what I want, and this is exactly what I'm going to do to get there, you know, because there's times where, you know, I've been tempted with opportunities, and these opportunities, not necessarily quote, quote, but like these opportunities were like, you know, job opportunities, you know, get myself a nice city job. There's city openings, the applications are out, this, that, the third, you know, go to college, all of that stuff. But, you know, looking out and getting the exposure that I want, I'm like, nah, this is not what I want. You know, like this is not the opportunity that I want to take. But, you know, like we get so stuck and so scared, like, all right, cool. Like if I do this, let's just make sure everything is all safe and dandy, you know?
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, you can actually take a small little risk. It's financial. At the end of the day, you gonna come out of it.
Exactly.
You know, there's rich companies that's filing, not rich, but like very, very large companies filing bankruptcies, like I think Blink.
Yeah.
Blink is a gym that's known in New York and New Jersey, and I think Connecticut too. They just, you know, came out and said they're filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah,
you
most
know,
millionaires file for bankruptcy twice before they sticks.
you know, but and one thing I did realize is, you know, after watching other people get interviewed, it was like, yo, how many times have you been in the verge of actually filing for bankruptcy? They say 1, 2, 3 times, and I'd be like, damn, like shit, like yo, like, and it's really about the mindset, because at the end of the day, like, yo, bro, you still could keep going.
You still can, bro. You wake up every day, you got an opportunity.
You still could.
It's like it's so much mindset. Like I can't stress that enough. And people think mindset is fluff, but it's really what you need. And if you don't got it, you're not gonna survive. Like think about all the smart people you went to school with, the smartest dudes in your class. They probably work regular jobs, make 40. They probably looking up to you now. And it's not about, and I want to be clear, I'm not saying being smart in school is a bad thing. No, you should go hard at everything you do. But what I'm saying is, in this world we live in, it's a different skill sets that are required. Grit is required, right? Because I see a lot of times the C+ students is the bosses now. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I was having a conversation with one of my friends. It's so weird. All of us who kind of hated school are now, you know, seem like in real life are the ones doing well. And I think it goes back to the programming. Yeah. Because if you think about school, it teaches you kind of how to be a worker. It teaches you how to not think too creatively, not to think on your own, but confined to what the rules are. And that's what a job was. And that's why I wasn't good at work. And I heard someone say, oh, you're not going to be a good business owner if you can't be good at a job. And I disagree, because I sucked at a job. I got fired a couple of times. But I just think that the fine tuning and the training for 12 years of high school, middle school, elementary, it gets most people, so they don't want to take that risk. But I always say, you know, no risk, no reward. If you play small, you'll stay small.
Yeah, that's a fact, because I'm even thinking like back in school days where like, yo, you have the class clown who's out of line. Like he's not following the school, what the school is telling him to do. Now today, you fast forward, now class clowns, like you got Kai Cenat making millions
going crazy.
Millions of dollars. And then you got other people who are now entrepreneurs because they took risks. But the people who follow the teacher's rules, now they're adults now. Now you tell them, yo, go to the bank, get a business loan. They scared as hell.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even want to step out that line. They like, nah, I'm good.
But honestly, I think it's really all about exposure too, you know, like forcing yourself and putting yourself in that environment, you know.
Yeah.
If you haven't been exposed to it, you know, more than likely you probably might not even
know it's there.
Think it's possible, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I only think it's possible because I done seen it way too many times. You know, I didn't, like, for example, I done seen Darius, you know, do what he do from zero to, you know, to how many dollars, you know what I mean? So I know it's possible. It's just really all about that exposure too.
Nah, you ain't lying. And when you're right, because like think about like the C- student or whatever, you kind of you ain't got nothing to lose. Kind of, you feel like the A+ student, they got like people pressure. Oh, I gotta go to college. I gotta get this degree. But when you the C student, like you like, what I gotta lose? Let me just try this shit. And because you try it, or it's all you got, you kind of realize, oh shoot. And then the biggest thing is momentum, like getting started. Like when you're at 0, that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest.
0 to 2 is the hardest part. After that is smooth sailing. But most people never get out of 0. Never. So they say it takes 2 things to be successful: just the courage to start and the discipline to keep going. Most people don't have the courage to just start. That's really it. Yeah,
that's a fact. But yeah, before we wrap up, I did have one more thing about business funding. I just wanted to ask you about how big is the relationships with the banks? Because like you said, you do funding, like you get people funded, but then again, it's like a lot of things are still on relationships.
Yeah,
a lot of, you can't just, even if you have everything in line, you can't just walk in the Chase sometimes and be like, yo, hey, I need $80,000.
Facts.
So how do you build your relationships with the banks, and how big is that, especially getting funded?
Great question. So a lot of what you can do, right? Relationships, first off, I'll tell you the difference between having a relationship manager and not is typically the difference between maybe a $20,000-$25,000 approval, doing it on your own if you have really good credit, versus having access to a relationship manager. That's when we get those $50,000 to $85,000, $90,000 approvals, right? The way you can start building relationships is you can go into branches and you can ask, are you a relationship manager, or do you work with underwriting, right? Those are some questions you can ask, some pre-qualifying questions. If those are yeses, then you let them know that, what I say is, don't let them know that maybe you're don't say credit specialist, but say that I work with small business owners who are looking for funding to be able to grow and scale their businesses. And you let them know this. You let them know most of them have really good credit, because when you do that, the way these relationship bankers get promotions, they get recognition, they get raises, is by being the person who's been able to push a lot of qualified people through and get them approved. Because most people, the hardest part is getting qualified people, because most people got bad credit. So when you tell them you work with people who have good credit and looking for funding, their eyes are going to light up, right? So because of that, now what we can do is we can ask them certain questions. Do you fund out of state or only in state? Do they have to be in branch, or can they be via DocuSign? You're looking for it to be via DocuSign. That means you can fund any of your clients from anywhere in the U.S. that are eligible, right? And all they need is an electronic sign. If it's in branch, then that's not super ideal, because again, we got clients that are all over the world. And then from there, we want to ask what type products can they get, right? Can they double dip, which means can they get multiple products with one inquiry? Can they only get one product, right? What does that look like? What are their qualifications for lines of credit? Does it need to be 2 years? Most do, but there's certain lenders that lines of credit only require 1 year. So you want to ask these certain questions so that if there's someone that you can work with. Now, once you have the relationship, you don't have to pay. Bank relationships don't do that. They're already getting money. They're just getting excited for you sending qualified leads. So now what happens is, when we send our clients through, we can set them up, either CC them via email the way we do it, and typically the relationship bank is just going to need some light information: business name, EIN number, where the business is based out of, and the person's personal info. Once they have that, they can push their applications through, and typically, because it's not a regular online application, you're going to have more leeway. We can request the limit. So, hey, this person looking for $60,000, $80,000 in funding, right? Now, with that being said, that could be a game changer. If you are a person, you're looking to close a deal, you need $50K to the table. Regularly, you probably only get 25, but now that you have access to someone like me who works with relationship managers, now we're looking at $60,000 to $80,000, where you can go out and be able to create more leverage and scale faster.
Oh, that's what's up. So y'all do that hard work of building those relationships.
Absolutely.
That's the groundwork.
Yeah. Or quite frankly, you can always buy it. You can buy relationships.
Yeah.
Right? I've paid for some reps. Right. So sometimes, you can pay to play. I always say you either got more time than money, or more money than time. Right. Whatever one you don't have, you leverage the other. If you don't have the money, you go out, do the groundwork, you build a relationship. If you have money, you can pay for a rep.
So before we wrap, because you got your boot camp, 5-day boot camp.
Yes,
that's
sir.
coming up. What's top 5 ways that people can turn credit to cash?
Ooh, I like that. So one way you can do that is running a funding company, right? You could do that by leveraging referrals without a social media, right? We make a lot of our money with funding. I don't even promote the funding service that much on my Instagram, right? We
Yeah.
usually promote the education business on there because we have a lot of referrals. We have partnerships with a lot of credit repair specialists who don't want to do funding because they don't know how to fund, or they're not confident. We have relationships with a lot of realtors who send us work, and we have relationships with a lot of tax offices or tax brokers who send us work, right? And we kick them back a percentage. They make their $1,500 to $3,500 per referral, and we're making our good money without having to spend money on ads, spend money on influencers, or having to be on Instagram, right? So that's one way. Another thing you could do is you could package your information into a digital product like an ebook or a mini course. All right.
Yep.
You could do that right on loom.com. Record your screen, you walking them through a process. I don't care what it is, right? You could do that. And then what we could do is we could take the credit and we could leverage shout out pages. You could leverage influencers. You could leverage Facebook ads, all these things to drive traffic back to your product.
Right.
Another way you could turn credit into cash is by setting up a high ticket consulting business. That's where you take or monetize either your gift or your skill set that you've learned or earned, and you be able to coach people, right? A lot of people now, we're in a time where the e-learning space is the fastest growing business in the world. So you can literally monetize your gifts, and people will literally pay you because they're going to pay $20,000 at a school to go, learn some skills that are pretty vague, or they could pay you even a quarter of that, $5,000, $10,000, and you can now show them how to get to where they want to get faster. So those are 3 ways. You're looking for a 4th way. Those are my 3 main ways I make money: the service, the consulting. Oh, and then another way is affiliates, but that don't really take credit. If you want to do credit, you could do car rental. I was in the car rental game for a little bit. You could take these funding plays. You could go with some auto loans, put them on some of the platforms, or do private rentals.
Right.
Or you could go get some cash cars off Facebook Market, economy cars, Toyotas, Hondas. Turn your credit card, liquidate it through Plastic or Milio, or you could liquidate it other ways, but essentially use that to go get cars for under $5,000. And then now those are on the road, cash flowing you some business. So those are 4 ways. And then a 5th way that you could do is you can. What else we do for bread? We got a lot of affiliate plays. Everything that we have, everything that we market, like people need to check their credit reports. Our Identity IQ, we make a couple $1,000s with them every month just in affiliates for having people sign up. All those credit builder accounts that I gave y'all can set up your own affiliates, have people sign up for those.
Yeah.
Even subprime lenders like Rock Financial, they'll give you a kickback based on when you get people funded, and then you can be a referral for somebody. So let's say Cody charges $2,000 to get on his podcast. If I send somebody, I would say, hey Cody, hey Io, kick me back run me my 20%. So they can give me back 400. They get their 16, and everybody happy. So those are some ways that we. Those are all the ways we make our money: affiliates, funding, low ticket products, high ticket products.
Nice.
That's game.
Yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. So where can the people sign up for the 5-day boot camp?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give y'all the link. Y'all gonna have it in y'all bio. Also, what you can do is follow me at Darius Benders on Instagram, and what you can do is just DM me the word boot camp, and I'm gonna do something crazy for y'all audience. The challenge sheets are gonna be $320, but for y'all people, the first 32 people will hit me. It will only be $32, and I want to coach them live for 5 days.
Nice.
$32.
Yeah.
And y'all already see the game he giving on the podcast. For
Crazy.
Ain't some of your programs is far higher than $32, ain't it?
Yeah, we got a $30,000 inner circle.
Sheesh.
We have a $15,000 webinar mastermind. We have a 10K program, and then we have a 5K funding program. Yeah. Yes,
$32 is still 5 days,
crazy. Crackhead
Sheesh.
prices.
But it's valuable stuff, though.
Absolutely.
Definitely
Absolutely.
valuable stuff. All right, cool. So, any final words, bro?
Man, I would just tell y'all, like, whatever you want to do in life, man. I know everyone here wants to make more money. So money is about, I always say be, do, have, right? You have to become someone different than who you are, so that you can do the things that are going to lead you to having the life that you want, right? I think most people think that you go out and you chase the money, but what I tell people is anything in life that you chase,
it will run.
That means it's running, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to chase, we want to attract. So instead of thinking chase the bag, think, no, I need to attract the bag. And you do that by becoming the type of person that money will be attracted to. So be consistent, be persistent, learn to invest in yourself, operate in faith. And if you do those things, man, money will never be an issue. If you feel like you took 100 losses, get up one more time. Next time might be the time. And yeah, that's it.
That's
this is a great. This is bro. This is a great.
She got me
conversation.
smiling.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like Darius really, like, even a mindset thing. Like, bro, you really did you do a really good job at kind of like, you know, bringing the best out of people. So I already know that, you know, your community is definitely getting a lot of not just game, but also, you know, mindset things and, you know, motivational things.
Absolutely.
So that's a gem right
there.
I
appreciate y'all boys,
man. It's a real gem. So yeah, this is a
Facts.
great episode. Like, this is some game, bro. Like, I learned a lot personally.
Yeah, definitely did.
Dope.
And I hope our community, you know, our followers definitely tapping with you.
Not for sure.
Especially y'all always in the DMs complaining like, yo, I need business funding, a million questions. So we just gave y'all guys somebody who could answer everything.
Nah,
so
facts.
Definitely tap in with the 5-day challenge. And what's the dates?
It's gonna be October 28th through November 1st. Yeah, October 28th through November 1st. Yes, sir.
So what if they watching this after? Any other link you would send them to?
Yeah, y'all gonna drop this next week?
As soon as we could.
Yeah, but you know, stay online.
So that's a great question. So after, if y'all can't make that for whatever reason, you need to make it. But if you can't, I'm doing it in person in Atlanta, November 8th through the 10th, where we're gonna be saucing y'all up with this high ticket offers game. That's gonna be my birthday weekend. So make sure y'all get in there. Listen, you do not want to miss. I don't care what you got to do. You do not want to miss that. I'm going to be giving my 7-figure framework for how anybody can take their intellectual property and be able to scale that thing online. So, yeah, November 8th through the 10th.
Nice.
Y'all got the dates, man.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff.
But, yeah, definitely y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely tap in with Darius in the challenge. We're going to leave the link down below in the description. Just click on it. Attend. And, you know, get that business you've been putting behind the scenes.
Yeah, let's get it started.
Get it started. You know, get some funding and get busy.
Facts. Like, comment, share, subscribe, join the Patreon. I was joking. I'm about to say join the OnlyFans. But
I think trying to go viral.
I'm joking. Join the Patreon. Join up. Yeah. Any other ones?
Nah, bro, we said everything. I feel like this is a good one, man. Replay this as much times as you want. If you learn something, drop the comments.
Y'all got a community, like a low ticket community?
Nah, we actually had one.
We started one, but we paused it. Paused it
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I think it was like counted too early. Like when we had did it.
It was like 20K. We was at like 20K.
Okay.
Less than that. I think.
You gotta start that shit back up.
Yeah, y'all should start it, bro. It ain't never too early. Hell yeah, that should be lit.
But yeah, y'all. So go ahead. See you guys on the next episode.
Yes, sir.